This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires, right on our strength, and by Grunt Style. Now, with all the news from NASCAR Touring, local and international series racing, here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
A new winner on the dirt in Vegas and a busy weekend ahead for NASCAR's regional stars here in New England. Welcome to NASCAR Coast to Coast for Wednesday, September 19th, 2018. Kyle Rickey here in Killingly, Connecticut, riding out the remnants of Hurricane Florence, joined by Hannah Newhouse in our Concord, North Carolina studio, who was also in Las Vegas over the weekend with me, and also had to avoid the hurricane and trying to get back to Concord. How was your adventure in getting back to the East Coast, Hannah?
Well, like you said, Las Vegas was not a bad place to ride out a hurricane, but I actually went from Las Vegas to Nashville and came up through North Carolina on Sunday. Wasn't bad, had a little bit of rain coming through the mountains, but it was a beautiful sunny day here yesterday in North Carolina, so fortunately Hurricane Florence out of our path, and hopefully some of that local racing can resume this upcoming weekend, because there was none of that around the Carolinas this past weekend.
Hope you guys dry out there. We have already got 5 inches of rain here just today alone, so we're, I guess, picking up where you guys left off. Speaking of racing over in Vegas, it was a big weekend of racing. 4 days featuring all of the national series of NASCAR and the regional series in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West. They kicked off the weekend last Thursday night, the first ever dirt series race for that tour. And Hannah, you were there. Your thoughts on how it went? It looked like a spectacular race once they got the track prep figured out.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of mixed emotions going into this race. We weren't sure how it was going to play out. It's been almost 40 years since the K&N Pro Series has been on dirt. And I wasn't at the test session on that Wednesday afternoon or that Wednesday night. But from the looks of it, the track was really, really dusty, and that was a concern going into Thursday's event. And all through Thursday, that track was really dusty as well. But the thing that we keep had to reiterating to people was the dirt that's out in Las Vegas isn't the same dirt that you see in Eldora or the same dirt that you see out here on the Carolinas with the clay. It's a mixture of sand and dirt, so to try and water that down, it doesn't take water well or absorbs really fastly. So track prep was a whole new concept to get these K&N cars to work. So off to a little bit of a rough start. That race was pretty big wreck on lap 1, 2, and then they actually around lap 7 red flagged it, brought everyone in, watered the racetrack again, and then it was pretty smooth sailing after that. It actually produced some great racing, 3 wide. There were these kids that have never even ran dirt before this weekend, and it actually produced a really good race. The dirt guys, though, definitely came out on top.
They did indeed. Hailie Deegan finished in the 2nd spot. She will join us here in a little bit. A race that was full of superstars. Christopher Bell ran the event. Brendan Gaughan ran the event. And much like the Trucks Xfinity and Cup Series at the big track across the street at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, kind of a rough and tumble physical event out there, Hannah. A lot of yellows and a lot of emotion.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of carnage. A lot of the teams actually brought out their old composite bodies because we knew there was going to be a little bit of carnage, especially with the lack of experience on this racetrack. So, yes, lots of cautions. It was kind of hard to see from a spotter standpoint, also from a fan viewpoint a couple times with that dirt. Things definitely heated up. We had about a green-white checkered, and pressure was on because Hailie Deegan wanted that win. But Sheldon Creed, who also comes from a dirt background with off-road trucks as well, found his way into victory lane. First K&N Pro Series win, I believe, but definitely has seen success in the ARCA Series, ran ARCA dirt races, which he said really helped him get that win this past week.
Creed did pick up his first win over Hailie Deegan. Derek Thorne, Cole Keats, Brendan Gaughan rounded out the top 5. Ryan Partridge finished in 8th, which allows him to extend his championship point lead to 31 points. Now with 3 races to go, Cole Rouse 3rd in the standings, 35 points back. The next race for the K&N West, September 29th at Meridian Speedway in Idaho. We mentioned Hailie Deegan will be on the show here in a few minutes. Also on the show today, New Hampshire Motor Speedway track president Dave McGrath. Obviously very instrumental in putting together a major weekend up there this weekend that brings the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East, the NASCAR Pinty Series to America for the first time, and the NASCAR Wheel and Modify Tour in their longest race ever, 250 laps. And obviously, Hannah, this is a great way to kind of fill that void after the track hosted 2 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup weekends the last 25 years, I believe. Fill that void now with a great weekend of short track racing on New England Super Speedway.
Yeah, what a great way to make, lemonade out of lemon. They got that date somewhat taken away from them, and now they're using it as a perfect opportunity to highlight and feature NASCAR's touring divisions, such as the Modifieds, the Pinties, and the K&N Series, where essentially we see a lot of the pick-of-the-crop drivers that are going to eventually move up into the big series. So what a great opportunity to take that venue. Everyone likes going to New Hampshire. It's an ideal location for teams like the K&N East and the Modifieds from the Northeast and the Pinties to all have a central location to come and race. And it's a great opportunity for fans, too, to get 3 different divisions that very rarely coincide with running with each other in one location in 250 laps, $25,000 up for grabs in the Modifieds. I mean, full throttle weekend is the best way you can put it, and they marketed that pretty well.
Track president Dave McGrath will join us here in a little bit. And you mentioned the Modifieds. Justin Bonsignor has a 79-point lead over Chase Dowling heading into this weekend's 250-lapper at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. 3 races to go for the Modifieds. But first, coming up, we'll talk to the Dirt Princess about her second-place finish this past Thursday night at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Hailie Deegan joins us after the break.
Chris Crockett, straight from the NASCAR stands, here with another member of our Toyota racing family, Jason.
Hi there.
Oh, you seem impatient.
Oh, well, I've been holding it in for a while.
A while?
Since it started.
The race?
No, the season.
Wow. Guess you don't want to miss any action.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, did you just see Denny Hamlin take the lead?
I haven't taken my eyes off him.
Jason, you don't look so good. Can I offer you some water?
Absolutely not.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go in the playoffs? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Here's NASCAR champ Kurt Busch.
For me, racing is all about winning. Off the track, I feel the same way. I like to be associated with companies and products that I consider to be top performers. State brand water heaters are top performers, and no matter what kind of water heater you need, State has it, even hybrid and tankless. Take it from me, when it comes to hot water, don't get caught with anything less than a State water heater. Get yours today. Go to statewaterheaters.com and use the Request a Quote from a Pro Tool.
All the dirt, winged excitement, and closest racing in America is featured each week on MRN's Winged Nation. Steve Post and our team of dirt racing experts bring you a trackside perspective on the heroes and personalities of sprint car racing. From Pennsylvania to California, the Midwest, Florida, and of course, Knoxville. Tune in to MRN's Winged Nation, presented by Sage Fruit, each Saturday on MAV TV. And MRN's Winged Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, live Tuesdays at noon Eastern and on demand at MRN.com. This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
The NASCAR K&N Pro Series West opened up a busy race weekend in Las Vegas last Thursday night at the dirt track just across from the parking lot from the front straightaway of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Big names in the field, and Brendan Gaughan, who was on the show a week ago, told us to watch out for Hailie Deegan, as she was going to be a factor, and indeed she was, and she joins us now on the guest line. Hailie, welcome back to NASCAR Coast to Coast, and congratulations on a really good night for you guys out at the dirt track.
Yeah, thank you. We came close. It was definitely a good race.
Before we talk about the race on Thursday, though, what were your thoughts when you first heard that the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West would race on dirt this year in Las Vegas?
I was super excited because I knew a lot of the guys haven't ever really driven on dirt that are in the K&N Series racing with me this year. So I felt like if there was really one track where I was going to do really, really good, it was going to be that track.
Now, obviously, you come from a dirt background, the off-road trucks, and you've talked about how big of a learning curve it's been to go into these K&N cars on asphalt. K&N cars are a different beast of their own. What were your first thoughts when you turned those laps Wednesday in that test session in the K&N car on dirt?
On dirt, it was crazy because the dirt racing I'm used to is a lot different than the dirt racing that we drove this last weekend at Vegas. Just the grip level, how it changed, and how the track would come in and out so differently and change within like 3 seconds in like an hour. And so it was just really, the whole time we were really battling the track surface rather than really the competitors.
Yeah, you're encouraged to keep your wheels on the ground in this type of dirt racing versus the off-road racing that you're used to. Did anything surprise you in driving these much heavier NASCAR K&N Pro Series cars on dirt than maybe what you expected going into last week's race?
Yeah, I didn't really kind of my initial thoughts on driving them, they don't have much counter steer, so you have to really just keep the car as straight as possible. And so that was really the only factor that was a little bit different that I didn't expect.
Now, this was definitely a record-setting weekend for you. Didn't quite get that win. I know you were frustrated with that second place, but you broke the record. You're the first female in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series to qualify in the pole. You won your heat race and led the field to green. How exciting was that? I know I was with your family when you set quick time, and they were excited for you, but how excited were you when you were told you now hold a record in NASCAR?
I was so pumped, even though, it wasn't the traditional pole, starting on the front row. It was kind of I don't know, it was more of a challenge thing because, it was I kind of got the pole, but, I got the pole for the heat race, and then I had to win the heat race to get, the real pole. It was just, a challenge after a challenge on top of each other. But I was super pumped to get that because I feel like that's definitely something that no girl has really accomplished, but in reality, it's just getting one step further to me trying to be the best driver.
We talked about the heat a lot in Friday night's NASCAR Camping World Truck Series broadcast here on the Motor Racing Network from Las Vegas. It was 100 degrees then. It was about 100 degrees on Thursday night. How was the heat from the cockpit of your race car, and how do you deal with it?
It wasn't actually that bad. I felt like I'm used to the California-Vegas heat because it's kind of where I grew up racing. I would go and I'll race in San Bernardino. It'll be 118, and I'm just used to that because that's what I grew up doing. But the only thing that really gets me is the humidity, which in Vegas there's none of that.
I can relate to that on a whole nother level. Having grown up in the Northwest, every time they're like, you'll get used to the humidity. I'm like, oof, nope. Give me 110 in Las Vegas over 98 in Virginia any day. So I totally understand that. Obviously, your rookie season here in the K&N Pro Series started off pretty good. You went through a little bit of a slump there, a couple DNFs, mechanical issues, and you're coming off this weekend in a second-place finish. How do you feel that momentum is going to carry into the rest of the season?
Yeah, kind of for the rest of the season, the only goal I have left is to win a race. That's the only goal. I'm not looking for points. I'm not looking for championship. We're going out there and we're going to try to win every race possible in the last three races of the season.
Wrapping up with Hailie Deegan here on NASCAR Coast to Coast, 6th in the championship standings. Obviously, you're not focused on that. You're focused on wins, a couple of second-place finishes, bunch of top 5s and top 10s. In a couple of words, how would you describe your rookie season in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West with Bill McAnally Racing?
Yeah, we've had some highs and lows, but right now I think we're going to be on a good high streak. That's what I'm hoping. So hopefully we can finish off these last couple races strong.
All right, Hailie Deegan joining us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast. She'll be back on track in a couple of weeks at Meridian Speedway in Idaho. Hailie, it was fun to watch last Thursday night in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West race at Las Vegas. Congratulations on a good run, and best of luck the rest of the season.
Perfect, thank you.
Hailie Deegan joining us here on the show. Coming up, we'll go from the West Coast, where Hailie ran this past weekend, to the president of New Hampshire Motor Speedway here on the East Coast. Dave McGrath previews a busy weekend ahead next here on NASCAR Coast to Coast.
Chris Crockett, straight from the NASCAR stands, here with another member of our Toyota racing family, Jason.
Hi there.
Oh, you seem impatient.
Oh, well, I've been holding it in for a while.
A while?
Since it started.
The race?
No, the season.
Wow. Guess you don't want to miss any action.
Nope, I don't.
Oh, did you just see Denny Hamlin take the lead?
I haven't taken my eyes off him.
Jason, you don't look so good. Can I offer you some water?
Absolutely not.
NASCAR and Toyota Racing. With a family like this, who knows the places we'll go in the playoffs? Learn more at toyotaracing.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
Grunt style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
It's full throttle weekend at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway with 3 of NASCAR's touring series all in action, featuring the Musket 250 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Track President Dave McGrath joins us now on the guest line. And Dave, a big weekend for you guys, bringing all these, for the most part, short trackers into New England's Super Speedway. I know it's been a busy summer for you with a lot of events during the week. You guys ready to go for this weekend's action?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Kyle, first off, thanks for having me on. And absolutely, the team is absolutely energized and ready to put on one whale of a show this weekend. And the weather forecast right now is, partly sunny and 65. So I think it's just going to be a fantastic day of racing, both Friday and Saturday. So we're super excited to get this thing started.
Now, one of the big things that's been talked about, obviously the Musket 250, modified, biggest race for them. But I want to talk about the Pinty Series for just a second. This is the first time that the Pinty Series has come on American soil. When did that get into talks to bring them to New Hampshire?
Yeah, so Hannah, we had sat down, Don Hawk and Marcus Smith and Bruton Smith, and we sat down with George Silberman back when he was with NASCAR, and we really the idea was to bring as much NASCAR as we could to the weekend. And in those conversations, Pinty's had gotten mentioned. And because New Hampshire has such a large crowd that comes down from Canada every year to see our racing here at the Speedway, it just made a ton of sense that we would include that series. And I certainly have had my eyes on that group up there, even back in the days when they were CASCAR. And certainly as they've become Pinty's, I think it's a great late model series. I think I've watched a lot of their races on television, and it's just great and fun. And we just thought, you know what, it adds another new element and twist, having never been out of the country and in the United States. Why not New Hampshire Motor Speedway during the Full Throttle Fall weekend? So that was kind of the impetus behind getting them to come on down, and we're really pleased and we're really excited. And the state of New Hampshire has actually stepped up and is actually going to sponsor that event now, as we are now officially calling it the Visit New Hampshire 100, as certainly the state sees a lot of great value in marketing to Canadian visitors to this part of the country. So we're super excited about that relationship and that new race.
That is fantastic. Obviously, Canada just a couple of hours away from New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Absolutely.
Brings in a lot of Canadian race fans, and as long as I've been going there, since 1991, I believe. You guys have always played the Canadian national anthem during opening ceremonies. So going to be great to see the NASCAR Pinty Series on U.S. soil for the first time here this weekend. Let's talk about the modified race for a moment, the Musket 250. The sponsorship, I understand it's going to be a spectacular trophy with a Musket, and also the lap money. A lot to race for, and it's definitely going to pay for these drivers to be at the front of the field on Saturday afternoon.
No, this is the largest purse in the history of the Tour, Kyle, and certainly there's another $25,000 lap leader bonus that we're adding on top of that. So, we think that right out of the gate, I mean, we know that 250 laps, these drivers are going to have to think about this a little differently than they would on a 100-lap race during a normal race weekend. So they've got to really consider how they want to go about this. But certainly adding more money to the kitty, I think, is only going to make it from the moment the green flag drops. These drivers are going to get after it, be up on the wheel, and racing hard. So we expect this is going to be a super day, and we're really excited about the whole trophy procedure with the Musket and the Minuteman replica trophy, and we just feel like that's just going to add so much more flavor to the weekend. And I know that one of those drivers is going to walk away with that beautiful Musket, and I can't wait to hand it to him in victory lane.
I actually just saw Justin Bonsignor, who had tweeted, "Don't get me wrong, $25,000 is cool, but he wants that Musket," and that was the biggest thing he was excited about. So, Bonsignor looking to extend that points lead, but also wants that Musket. Now, it was recently announced, actually, on NASCARHometracks.com that all three races this up-and-coming weekend are going to be streamed on fanschoicetv.com.
Right.
Obviously, anyone who's in the area, we encourage them to come to this race. It's way better in person. But how important is it to bring it to a crowd like the NASCAR Pinty Series family and crew that can't make it?
Oh, I think it's super important. Certainly, we're going to have all these races tape delayed and certainly shown on TSN in Canada. But for those that can't be here live, I think it's a great, feather in our cap, and certainly we're excited about it. But look, race fans that can be here will be here. And I certainly, the weather is forecasted to be absolutely perfect. And my expectation is based on really on pre-sales that we've got out the door already. We've got over 600 campers already lined up, ready to drop, already prepaid. That's huge, and almost over 5,000 tickets out the door. So, we know this is a walk-up crowd. But for those that can't make it, I think it's super that they'll be able to see it live, fanning on streaming on Fans First. So we're excited about that as well.
One of the cool elements of New Hampshire Motor Speedway in recent years has been the fan zone. Usually located just outside of the Turn 2 tunnel, it connects the main parking lots to the grandstands. However, this weekend, David, the fan zone moves to the infield. It's going to be a true all-access weekend for these fans that get to go into the infield, get to have fun with all the fan events and activities happening in the infield, but also right there at the garage area and getting to meet the drivers in all three series.
Yeah, so that was a big part of what the team came up with when we really kind of laid out the plan for this event weekend a year and a half ago, and it really was all around trying to give as much access as you could to the fan. And because New Hampshire Motor Speedway is a unique facility with such a large infield, we thought, you know what, let's take the driver-owner lot that we normally use on a national series weekend. Let's turn that into the fan zone. Let's bring the energy and the access right in the infield. And so what we're going to allow is every ticket, if you buy a $35 in advance ticket or $45 the day of the race, if you get that ticket, you've got free access into the infield, and we'll actually have a shuttle that brings you in and out, and you can come and go as your heart's content. On top of that, what we're going to add in there is there'll be live music, there'll be a big beer garden, there'll be food, there'll be vendors and displays and all kinds of energy, and we're even adding some carnival rides in the infield. So we're really trying to create this atmosphere, and when the racing concludes, there's going to be a big party afterwards and a lot of energy in that infield. So fans that are buying a grandstand GA ticket, general admission ticket, get access to the infield. And those that want to take it to the next level can obviously spend another $45 and get a full garage pass, which allows them into the garage area all during the weekend as well. So we're trying to give as many options to fans, but it's all about, really, Kyle and Hannah, it's all about access this weekend, giving the fans the ability to get right in it and be up close to the action. So we're really excited about that.
I'm definitely looking forward to being there this weekend, working with NASCAR Home Track. So if I go missing and no one can find me, my advice is go check the fan zone, because apparently I might be on a carnival ride or hanging out listening to music. So look in the infield for me. But definitely an exciting weekend up ahead, all three series. How important is it, with the Cup no longer coming there for the second date, how important is it to give these three divisions a platform on their own to come and race at New Hampshire?
Well, look, the team at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and certainly Bruton and Marcus, the lineage and the heritage of short track racing and grassroots racing in this speedway has been a very big part of our DNA since Bob Bear owned the track. And so for us to showcase them, let's not forget, we race K&N and we race the Whelen Modifieds in July. But having them come back on a big stage weekend in September, we think is critically important to the success of our business. I mean, look, I want to continue to evolve and grow events at New Hampshire Motor Speedway that are in the spectrum of racing and outside. But we are a racetrack, and we always want to be putting on great racing events for our fans. That is the North Star that we go by, that Bruton instills in all of the general managers of the speedways, and that is we work for the fans. And we felt that what could we do, what could we bring? And we all know that the Modifieds put on one whale of a show every time they race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And so the energy behind that was, let's give them a big short track weekend in September. Let's keep it on the traditional weekend that we've always had our normal Cup weekends, which was, this weekend coming up. And we just felt this will add a great new racing venue for fans. And I think over the years, it's going to become the must-see event of the summer, and certainly on the regional series and the regional stage, I think it's going to be a great one.
Can't wait to get up there in a couple of days, a full day of practice and qualifying on Friday, 100 laps of the Pinty Series on Saturday, 125 for the K&N East, and then obviously 250 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, that is. Dave, thank you for joining us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast, and can't wait to see you in a couple of days.
Kyle and Hannah, thanks for having me, and please get yourself a ticket and go to nhms.com, and we'll take good care of you, and we look forward to seeing all the race fans here this weekend at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the Full Throttle Fall Weekend.
Going to be a great weekend. New Hampshire Motor Speedway Vice President, General Manager Dave McGrath joining us here on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Coming up, more champions crowned in the Whelen All-American Series and a preview of the weekend ahead.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Grunt Style. The American fighting spirit is in everything we make. We are 500 patriots and veterans strong, bringing clothing manufacturing back to the United States of America. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We are Grunt Style, and this we'll defend. Get yours at gruntstyle.com.
This is NASCAR Coast to Coast, brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Here are Kyle Rickey and Hannah Newhouse.
Welcome back to NASCAR Coast to Coast, part of State Water Heater Week here on the Motor Racing Network, leading into a busy weekend of racing at Richmond International Raceway. Coming to a conclusion in Division 1 for the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series national standings. Philip Morse continues to lead, but Hannah not by much. 47 points over Steve Carlson. Carlson, of course, the late model championship leader at La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway in Wisconsin. It's not over yet, but it's looking pretty good for Philip as we get set for the last weekend or two of the season.
Chance here only because he has so many options around here to go to race. He can collect all these different points at these different tracks, where out in the Midwest their season's getting ready to wrap up. So Philip Morris may have another championship in his hands.
Also, congratulations over the weekend to Loris Haseman and Alon Day, both picking up the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series wins this past weekend over in Europe. They have one event left, their final weekend coming up October 20th and 21st. Lucas Lazier has a 2-point lead over Alon Day, so the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series wrapping up as well. Hannah, that'll do it for this show. We'll see you, I guess, up in the Granite State here in a couple of days.
Excited to head to New Hampshire for the second time, and lots of racing on hand, so I will see you up there.
I want to thank Hailie, Deegan, and Dave McGrath for joining us. I'm Kyle Rickey. We'll see you back here next week.
NASCAR Coast to Coast has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. NASCAR Coast to Coast can be found on demand at MRN.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. NASCAR Coast to Coast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.